Fredrick, a master of foreign languages, flew the model of the unbroken universal vase to Oslo, Norway, and then took a short vacation in Russia from working on nothing. He was out and about the town and sitting in a restaurant awaiting a delicious roast duck when he received an emergency evacuation order from Nobody's ninjas to immediately hoof it over to the train station. Chow, chow, he thought to himself. On his way out, he grabbed a cheeseburger from someone who wasn't looking and calmly walked out the front door and on down the street. Looking back, he saw the police surrounding the restaurant, as well as his car. "Holy King Tut's tomb," he exclaimed. "They really want to control the world with the toe. They are probably after my drawing too, the one showing the pyramidal opposition of the weak and strong nuclear forces and the transition of the electric and magnetic forces." He patted his underarm, checking that his pistol was still there, and sauntered down the street. How did they find me? His cell phone rang and a voice said, "How find you, Mr. Fred? Is by pyramid in front yard. Please proceed to train station. 905 train north. Hurry, click." Fredrick walked and jogged a ways without further incident and entered a tunnel that would take him under the train tracks to the station. He hesitated at first, seeing that the tunnel was dimly lit by only a single light bulb in the center, but then moved on in, not wanting to miss the train. His cell phone began ringing off the hook and alerted him as follows. 4 KGB red sedans arriving each end of tunnel. Make good plan fast. Fredrick reflected a moment, sizing up the scene. He quickly walked to the center of the tunnel, took off his sweater, draped it over his shoulder, and stood under the lone light. He could hear the red KGB sedans screeching to a halt at each end, some of them going a bit too far and denting their fenders. Very poor and reckless drivers. 8 KGB agents entered the tunnel and 3 approached from either direction, the remaining 2 staying back as rear guards, 1 at each end of the tunnel. "Hands up," said the KGB leader in English as they all pointed tranquilizer guns at Fredrick, front and back. "No. Must I repeat the command? Raise up your hands or go to sleep." "No," replied Fredrick. "I must know who asks me." The agents approached a bit closer. "I am famous Colonel Patov. You will follow orders or be subdued and severely beaten. Behind you is Dmitri, my best and most merciless captain with his team. You have nowhere to go, Fredrick. Raise your hands. Be searched. Come with us peacefully. And we won't even have to use the tranquilizer darts." "Okay," answered Fredrick, "as long as you put it that way." The agents approached slowly from Fredrick's front and back as he began to raise his hands. They were about 20 feet away now. "No contest," said Fredrick. "I'll be passing on to the other side. It's lights out for me." Fredrick raised his hands quickly and smashed the light bulb, then attached his sweater to the fixture, having noted the spot beforehand, slipped off his shoes and left them there, and let out a blood-curdling scream that seemed to echo from all directions at once. The KGB thought Fredrick was charging them, but in actuality he had just slipped sideways noiselessly without his shoes, and had squatted down, hugging the wall of the tunnel that had just been plunged into total darkness. Darts began flying through the darkness towards the screech, but Patov, a seasoned KGB veteran, called out, "Stop! We're only hitting each other. I have one down. Dmitri?" "One as well, Colonel," Patov added quickly. "Link hands and sweep ahead, touching the walls. He is still somewhere between us." Fredrick felt the edge of a coat almost touch him, but just about then the agents reached his hanging sweater and his shoes on the floor. There was an intense struggle with Fredrick's abandoned clothes and shoes, some agents even punching each other out in the darkness. Thus, during this time, Fredrick scooted along, found the napping agent, and removed his coat. While moving toward the end of the tunnel, Fredrick encountered another body against the wall and thought, "That's funny," Dmitri said. "Only one was down." Fredrick halted, noting that there was some ambient light at the end of the tunnel, and that there would be no way to slip past the rear guard undetected. A whistle and a rumble indicated that the northbound train was arriving. Fredrick, wearing the borrowed KGB coat, walked calmly toward the rear guard, who tensed and pointed his weapon. Fredrick then whispered in Russian from several feet away, "It's me, Dmitri." And so the guard relaxed a bit, and it was in this split second that Fredrick leapt toward him and clunked him on the head with his pistol, took the guard's shoes, put them on, then ran up to the platform and jumped aboard the already departing train. I am really Russian now. It was Fredrick's lucky day and that roast duck was on the dining car menu, and so he ordered it. At the next station, Fredrick looked out the window and saw the 5 agents, minus 1 clunker and the 2 sleepers, running for the train and boarding the rear cars just as they were pulling away. Fredrick's duck began to take flight again as he ran to the end of the dining car and uncoupled the remainder of the train, pretty much leaving it sitting in the station. Good training. The KGBers then notified their top man, General Burkov, who happened to be in the vicinity aboard his own lavish private train, of their latest defeat. Burkov gave new orders to his engineer. Fredrick jumped onto another train. He ran back through the dining car, the sleeper cars, the baggage car, and onto the engine, showing his TowQuest membership card and advising the engineer that he should leave the train for his own safety. About then, General Burkov's train came off a siding at high speed and onto Fredrick's track, about 3 miles behind. Fredrick noted this oddity, thinking that trains are not scheduled this closely, and so he continued onward until he saw a signal for an upcoming siding, and stopped his train just beyond it, got out, and switched the main track onto the siding that led to an old abandoned mine, and just stood there to witness the action, carrying his roast duck. This should be good. Burkov came roaring much too fast around the curve, spotted the track switch too late, and tried an emergency stop, but his train kept going onto the siding and off toward the deserted mine shaft. Burkov and friends jumped off at the last minute just before the entire train plunged into the mine shaft and was swallowed into the 18-story depths, never to be seen again. Shafted! Burkov cursed. No one does this to me and lives. Send forth every agent and every train. Fredrick hopped back on the engine, not planning to be on it much longer, for it wasn't healthy and it wasn't all that far to the ninja base, 10 miles perhaps. He could take to the forest and walk. The roast duck was still with him, and so he finally got to sample it. In a while, a shadow appeared and came to life beside Fredrick, saying, "Good moves, Fredrick son. I give you 3rd degree now. I am 9th degree ninja grandmaster. You not see me come, move like wind and go like water. S1, hello 9th. I heard you breaking wind and going water." Come on, that speech figure. Beside those a while back. I wear black, come out of black between bush, appear as nothing. I'm an expert on nothing. They heard an explosion. We take care of light at other end of a tunnel, some kind of speeding red KGB engine. Thanks, but where was my protection from the 8 KGB agents in the first place in the first tunnel? Good training. But I there in second place in tunnel to protect you, said the ninja, but you not need me. You were there in the tunnel? Yes, I there. You touched me once. Oh yeah, thanks for being there. I thought I had an arithmetic problem. Okay, but was that it, just you? That even too much, just need half of me, but I know like banana split, so bring whole self. Haha. Good one, half and half. They walked on for many, many miles. How going, Fred? I'm just putting 1 foot ahead of the other. We getting near outer zone of base, Fred, maybe see some magic stuff. Yes, when cross zone, hear the sweetest, saddest music ever. It go down deep, but also energized. No one can be ready for this. S1, really? Okay, here come. Tears streamed from Fredrick's eyes. You're right. There was no way to be ready for that. It reminds one about the plight of humanity, energizing one to aid the cause. They arrived at the ninja base and went in. S1, I'm ready. Now, Fred, sir, do some taste test. This Coke or Pepsi? Neither. It is RC Diet Cola from a can. Nice try. Ah, you have good taste. Now, what wine this be? It's a non-alcoholic sparkling grape beverage from Holland. Ah, Fred, but what year? This year. Now you taste this, as he pulled a piece of duck out of his pocket. Ah, yes, duck from Peking, South Region. Very good. Now, what taste really consists of? Well, although taste buds vary somewhat, there being 3 main classes, it all really comes down to the length of the vectors of the taste matrix of sweet, salt, bitter, and sour. Yes, Sir Fred, fine taste. So, someone say something tastes no good then? We don't believe them, since their taste buds may be different from ours. Some see different color too. That why some look like dressed in dark? S1, yes, slightly.
Yes, that could be, but you dress for the dark in the dark and go forth into the dark, so why wear anything?
Ah, good. Haha, what best taste ever.
The taste of eternity that I am tasting right now.
Ah, Fredrick, you wise man.
As wise guy you.
More haha. Why not shoot pistol in tunnel? What if you get desperate or have to sneeze? S1. Then the better I know where they are to shoot them. Narrator. Good. What if they put light? S1. Well, there was nowhere to aim, plus they could have identified my position from the chamber barrel flash before I had a chance to shoot them all.
Yes, I am a traffic planner and must consider all directions, even up and down and underground through tunnels. Narrator. All this plan in 1 minute make? S1. Then I cock the pistol and throw it where I'm not, as I run away. Hopefully it fires where it lands and draws their attention to it and away from me as I escape.
No, truth stranger than fiction. S1. Fine, go ahead, but I always thought they made these things up. Narrator. Well, you mind if we sell story to detective mystery writer DeMille? Make money? No can fool you. S1. Yes, that is his name. Narrator. How long is a Chinaman? S1. Any more tests? Yes, they cancel and a duck appears, for since I didn't see everything but a duck, then I must have seen a duck. But even this is not for sure. S1. You hear of double negative like didn't see no duck? Yeah, right. S1. Yes, maybe you ate duck. Now, there no such thing as double positives.
Good one. What you study lately?
Ah, very hard state to maintain, so maybe not exist. S1. Nothing.
Really?
Yes, it would take a god or some force to keep nothing intact, but then not really nothing. For other stuff there. That my theory. And nothing really, very little. A small point, a void to avoid. Not much, no big deal, some zilch.